Hello, CRE. So now you have had an opportunity to look at our key points from your reading and our video in which I've kind of given to you prior to this particular presentation, which will introduce key concepts relative to our understanding. So I kind of want to review those key points real quick. So first, our key points: critical reading is essential to decision making. So we all agree. Critical thinking means critical thinkers think about the information they read. Okay? Information is expanding in all of the health sciences, so we want to make sure that we ask the right questions. As professionals, we need to read and think critical to be able to decipher information that's useful so we can make decisions appropriately for our constituents or our patients or whoever it is that we are giving our services to. So asking yourself those 6 essential questions is very important, but just asking questions is important so that you can discover the information underneath that lies beneath the reading. The dictionary defines this thinking behavior as disciplined thinking that is a clear rationale for our informed evidence. So if we look at this slide, building the essential skills and attitudes that will enable you to decide for yourself which are the opinions to make and which ones are your own, and how are you going to create something of meaningful information. You kind of have to dig deep. So don't believe everything you hear, don't believe everything you read, and don't believe everything you think. It's a combination of putting these pieces together to be able to have systematic evaluations. So what is critical reading? We're reacting with systematic evaluation. So we are systematically thinking about how we evaluate what we're reading. So build around the essential questions, knowing when to answer them and answer them appropriately at all times. To be a critical thinker, you must be an active reader and an active listener. So what does that mean? That means I'm actively engaging in the text. Now, if you took some previous reading courses, and if you look, I have some resources on what active reading listening is. Active reading and active listening is meaning that you're looking and you're actively engaged as if you were engaged with a person in the text. I agree with something, or I question what this means. What is the author trying to say? Because this has not been my experience, or I am comparing this to another text that I read, and that seemed to be the opposite. Or this study found that this information was helpful, but this study saying that in recent terms, maybe that's not the best option. So it's taking all of these pieces and actively engaging in your thoughts and opinions and what you've been exposed to in the text. Now, with that being said, a question is not about the things you don't know. It's about asking those questions that are back here. So here it is that I've been presented with this information, but what are the authors not presenting to me? What questions can I ask to really dig a little deeper to get to the root cause so that I can take all of my evidence and make the best decision? We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking as we used to when we created them. We have to think a little bit, we have to think below the surface. So characteristics of critical thinkers and readers. So I want you to rate yourself on a, from 1 to 5 on, am I a person who asks questions? Am I a person who really thinks about information that's presented to me? Do I just take things for face value? I'll give an example. A lot of you get on Facebook or Instagram, and do I just take that information that I've read and say, yes, that is the truth? Or do I dig a little deeper and figure out, let me get to the true cause, or let me read multiple things. Let me read, or maybe go and watch another show, maybe PBS, or, to kind of compare my stories to actually get at what is really true. So weak sense versus strong sense of critical thinking. What we may consider, and I use those words weak and strong really lightly, is using critical thinkers to defend your current belief. So if you're just there and you read something and you're defending what you believe, then am I really digging deep in my sense of critical thinking? I want to be able to, a strong sense of critical thinkers is to evaluate claims and beliefs from all different perspectives, especially your own. But being able to see from a different point of view, or being able to read something from an opposite perspective and saying to yourself, I wonder. So planning for the gold. So student writes notes in the margins that questions reading and interact and evaluate. So if you are reading a particular passage, make sure that you're writing and thinking about those different things. And everybody's going to have a different way of doing this, but you want to dig deeper in your questioning. Foundations for argument are particular about an issue or controversy. So you're going to have a question to be answered. Do healthcare providers care about their patients? Okay, maybe that's the controversy issue. You're going to have reasons that support that, and you're going to have reasons that may not support that, which is the premise of the argument. And then you're going to have a conclusion. Yes, this author agrees, and here's why. Or no, this author does not agree, and here's why. So let's take a look at this cartoon. Determine the following. What is the issue? What are the cartoonist's conclusions, because that's the author? And what are the reasons that are present to support this conclusion? So if you see an issue is a question or a controversy responsible for the discussion. Should I, would I, are we, right? Do cell phones have too many applications? Why or why not? What are the reasons that support the opinions, beliefs, evidence, analogies, statements to justify where they're coming from? Someone's conclusion is intended message, but it shapes their beliefs. So there's consequences, hence points, and thus it follows and suggests. So here's your time to practice, and I look forward to seeing what you get.